One question that kind of always arises at some point in someone's training routine or kind of journey through fitness is, when is it the right time to increase the difficulty of the exercise? And it all depends, and there's different variables at which you can change, but just a very simple thing to think about is, if we were doing, say for instance, 3 sets of 8 on a lunge or a squat, and you're trying to eventually build a little bit more strength, you want to think about is those last 3 to 4 repetitions, how difficult were they actually? So say you get done with that second or third set and you're thinking, you know what, I probably could have done a few more repetitions, then maybe you want to think about increasing the load at which you do it. Something to think about is what the 6th, 7th, and 8th rep of an 8-rep scheme should be hard, and it should be challenging, and it should almost sometimes think as if you need a spotter. Now, there's a time and place to really dial it up and do maximal exertion, but just think you want that difficulty to be at that higher level. So if we had a scale or use the modified Borg scale for this component of, we'll say 0 being easy and 10 being the hardest ever alive, you want to live in that range of 6 to 8 in a sense when you're talking about those back end repetitions of 6th, 7th, and 8th rep. And that gives you an idea of like, okay, now it's time to increase that difficulty. But don't think that you have to just increase the weight. Not everyone has that luxury of just adding more weight to it. You can make the repetition slower. You can really target working on more movement based, where it's a couple more reps, 1, 2, but it doesn't always have to be increase in weight. So to sum it all up, thinking about when you're getting to that 6th, 7th, and 8th rep, what is the difficulty when we're talking about this kind of Borg scale where it's 0 to 10? If that difficulty is starting to decrease and it's getting easier, that's when it's going to be time to start increasing the difficulty or intensity of the exercise. But once again, listen to your body, and there's many ways to change that, and you don't have to just change the exercise. That's always a misconception, is if the exercise is easy, I need to go to a hard one, instead of making that exercise harder. And there's many progressions or regressions if it's too hard that you can utilize. So thinking about those last few reps in the tank, how hard were they? And if they were a little easier, maybe it's time to change the difficulty of that exercise.